I know that hoteliers are crazy busy like never before. And I know there are so many really great AI tools out there that you can be using.
Looking at the data, analyzing the data, and synthesizing it all together and putting it all together to make decisions. If AI could do it faster and easier, that'd be great.
So this is the first of a set of videos where I'm going to be hands-on building automations using AI agents for hotels. A few weeks ago, I was at a hotel conference, and like so many conferences over the last 12 months, speaker after speaker went on stage and talked about AI. But everything they said was about hypotheticals and theoreticals. There was very little practical, pragmatic advice. And that really frustrated me. And so I thought I'd create a set of videos where I went to speak to hoteliers. I asked them for specific projects that they would love to fulfill or may be made better using AI. And then together we would go and build applications and AI agents to help them right now that you can see me build and that you can learn from. I really hope that you're going to find it useful. I definitely want feedback along the way. Want to hear what are the use cases you would like me to deal with for your hotel. We're going to be using all sorts of hotel tools across the tech stack to try and show just how powerful AI tools can be, and also to try and make it really easy for you to get going. So I thought I'd best start my first video here in New York City. I went to see Derek Brewster at the Lotte New York Palace Hotel, a really fabulous property, to ask him about some of the things that he struggles with day to day, week to week, that we might be able to do more effectively using AI.
I'm Derek Brewster, and I work for Lotte Hotels and Resorts for the Americas. We have access to so much quality data. It's the pulling the data, looking at the data, analyzing the data, and synthesizing it all together and putting it all together to make decisions. If I've got great help at the hotels, but if AI could do it faster and easier, that'd be great. We use TravelClick, Demand 360, as most hotels do, to look forward, spot some trends, and benchmark our performance against the competitors. We put that data together into a weekly revenue reports packet that we present in our weekly revenue meeting. It takes time for our revenue analysts to download the information, copy and paste it. We have specific formats. I'm used to a certain way. I like things to look a certain way. So we have to adapt the data that we get out of the system to fit into the reports for the meetings. That takes time, and every minute that we are doing tasks as opposed to actual analytics is time I would love back so that we can do the analytics.
Okay, so you've got a really valuable tool and you want to be able to extract data automatically because it takes time to do it manually.
Yes.
And how often are you pulling that data out?
Weekly.
Okay. And who's doing it?
Our revenue analyst.
Okay, got it. So if we can automate that, that would help that person save time. And what would they use that time for? What would you prefer them to?
I would love for them to be looking at the data as opposed to pulling the data. So truly doing the analyst part of the analyst job, right? So looking at the data, spotting trends, shifting over to another system, looking at, fixing if there's any parity issues, looking at what the comp set is doing, those kind of things that also take time, but those lead to strategic decisions.
Okay, so in summary, what we need to be doing is logging into Amadeus Demand 360, running reports for Derek, and then exporting the data into the format he's looking for to save him time. In addition to that, we can also add some AI analytics on top of it. But first of all, let's just make sure that we're getting the right data out for him. And so there are two different tools we're going to be using for that. Obviously, the first one is the Amadeus tool. And then the second one is a tool called Axiom.AI. This is a browser extension. And the reason why I'm using it in this particular instance is because it can run completely on your own device, on your own desktop. So there's no need for cloud services. There's no need for data to be squirreling off around the internet. It can all run on your computer. Because in a sense, all we're doing here is a user every week logs in and does something. We are logging in as that user, running exactly the same steps that they would do and just saving the time by doing it in an automated fashion. So Axiom.AI, great tool, and it's a browser extension that looks like this. And when I click it, I am able to then get it to track things I want to do on a web page. So let's enable it here. Oh, okay, sorry, there it is. It sneaks into the right-hand side. So this is what it looks like when you have the extension open. And then in here, you have various different axioms you've got set up. And it's just a set of steps that you're going to take on the web page. So we just need to define what the steps are we wanted to take. So the first thing, obviously, we want to do is go to the website. So you could either type in there, go to, or you can go down here to key steps and navigate, go to a page. And you can see it's already actually picked up live what the page is that we want to go to. So we go to the page, and then obviously we need to add the username and the password and click go in order to log in. So let's start. Step number 2 is enter text. That's going to be entering the username. So I can put that in there. And then also we have to tell Axiom where on the page we want that text entered. And so I'm going to click here, select text field. What will then happen is the Axiom extension will disappear. We'll be back on the login screen, and we have to find the area in the login screen we want Axiom to click. So there it is. What happened is the extension went down the bottom, you can see, so you can go back and get it if you need it. And then now when I roll around the screen, you can see it's picking out all the different things that I can click on. And so what I want to do is click on this input name field. And I've now told Axiom that's what I want to click on. And you can actually see it here. If I just open this up by pressing custom, just for my face log, you can see it's selected from here, the exact space on the page. And so I hit complete because that is now done. I'm ready to move on to the next step. Okay, so I selected the field and I entered that. The next step is to enter, obviously, the password. So now I go again, select the field. So now I want to pick this part of the page and hit complete. And then here I enter the text of the password. Then the next stage that I will do is I want to click an element, right? I want to actually log in. So again, I click element and I need to, choose what the bot should click on. So I go select and I'm going to go here, enter. I want to click enter. And that is it. Okay, so now we've built up those first 4 steps. The best thing to do is just test that the automation is working. Makes your life a lot easier if you just keep testing all along the way. And to do the test, I go up here and hit run. And I can run it on my desktop app that I've downloaded. And it will then open a new browser window and log in. Let me just show you that new browser window as it opens. There it is. It's logging in. I'm not in control of the computer. It adds the email, the password, and logs in. Great. Okay, so here we are logged in. What we want to now do is navigate to the right part of the website, of the tool. So next step, I want to navigate, click an element, which is to go over here to Demand 360 and hit complete. Do I want to select it now? Yes, because that will help me move along the way. Now, the next step is to pick from this drop-down list New York Palace and hit go. To do this, the easiest way is actually to inspect element. So right-clicked on this element because I want to understand a bit more about it. And don't get too freaked out. This is the code that lies behind the page. Within here, you can see there are 2 options, right? So this option is New York Palace. That's the text that's shown. This is the option value that we are selecting. So I've just copied that. I'm now going to close this inspect element so I know a bit more detail about what underlies this list. So now when I go back to Axiom, I want to add that I'm going to select from a list. It's going to ask me here, what is the text the bot should use? And I'm going to paste in that text that we know we want it to pick. That's the exact text in the box. And then I need to choose the box, which is this element. Great. Okay, so now we'll pick the box and put in the right text. And then I need to click an element, which is go. And there we go. We now have a few more steps added in. that take us through to the right part of the platform. So here we are deep inside the Demand 360 platform. Now I've blurred out the data, but there's so much fabulous information and insight in here. But what Derek wants us to do is go get those reports. So we need to click around a few more things to set up the right reports and get the right data there. So first of all, I've got a few more things to click on. Future and historical pace. And then I need to pick here. I want to be picking the next 180 days. And to do that, the best way I've found in, so I didn't pick on it. Thought I had. Okay, there it was. It was that one. And hit complete. Okay, great. Confirm. I was going to just reload that page. So now I've got the future and historical pace. Now, next challenge is Derek wants his reports to run 180 days into the future. And so we need to pick out 180 days. There are a few different ways to do that. I found the one that works the best is to first identify what date is 180 days from today, and then enter that date into the date picker. So to do that, there's a great little date and time calculator here. And I say I want to custom end days into the future, 180 days, and I just want the date. And then what I want to do is pick out the date format that matches the Demand 360 product, which you can see over here is month, day, year. Extraordinary Americanism. I've never quite understood that. So it's that format. And what this will do is automatically define what day is 180 days from today. And you can see it's got this little like date and time thing, and that means it's created a function for like a function that tells us that specific date, so we can then add it. So what we then want to do is type text into the date box, enter text. And so the date I want to enter, the text I want to enter into the date picker is inserting that data, and here it is. There's the data we just created. That's 180 days from today. So that's the text I want to enter. It's being pulled automatically from this step. And now I go and say where I want it to go to, which is there, into that. Complete. Great. So that will then enter the date of 180 days into the right box. Okay, and now I need to pull a few more filters in order to give Derek exactly the report he wants. So I'm going to be clicking on an element. Select that element. It's going to be this one to filter. Great, complete. Yep, let's pick it now. Great. And then in that filter, I want to choose 2 items on the list. So the first one is going to be in the list. The text it is called something like group. I need to go and find it. Let's go in there. Here it is. It is going to be into this sub-segment list, and it's called general group. I can see it there. So I've chosen that and said go. So it's chosen, it knows where to put it, but it was general group. Great. And then there's another item I want to add in the list. And I found, actually, I'm going to just go back here. So we know select list, general group. That's what we're adding in there. There's another element to go in the list, and it's worth putting a carriage return because that then means that gets selected in there. The other item from that list in the sub-segment was called unsold block. So hopefully I've picked the sub-segment, hit complete, and that was unsold block. Again, carriage return means it gets selected. Okay, so those are the 2 items I want to pick from the list. Unsold block for this particular report. And as mentioned, we actually need to rerun this report like it's 5 or 6 different times, each time with different filters. Okay, so those are the 2 items we want to pick from the list. Let's go and do that right now, and then we can move forwards. So general group and unsold block, that's how they'll be. I also need to apply those. So now the apply is a slightly different button. Let me show you an alternative way to make the apply button work, because I found it was a bit niggly. So all I want to do is click element. But on this particular element, apply, I could just pick it like that. And when I choose it like that, what's actually happening, if you look down here, I can show you, is when I roll over and choose the element to pick on, it puts it in here. But sometimes this works less well than either going into the inspector and choosing the exact name of the CSS element, or sometimes just choosing the text. So in this instance, there is only one button that is live right now on the website called apply. And I found that just by calling out the word apply, it does a better job of picking the right thing. So we're going to say, look for the button that says apply and press it. Do we want to do it right now? Yes. Okay. So then it's clicked apply. And the final thing we have to do is export the report. So we're waiting for a little bit for the report to run, and that took 4 or 5 seconds. And so one of the other things, I haven't found this necessary, but sometimes when I was building, I found it can be useful to put in a wait feature and say, okay, I want to wait for 5,000 milliseconds, so 5 seconds, just to make sure that report loads before I export it. And then the final thing I want to do is export. And so I need to click element, and I'm going to choose this export to Excel and hit complete. And if I hit confirm and you watch the top right, you should see that it's going to run the report. It's going to download the report. There we go. So it's downloaded it to my desktop. So there's no data being saved off in the cloud. It's all being done on the login's own device. And that is it. Those are the key elements to being able to pull a report, pick out the filters you need, and then export it. So now what I need to do is repeat those 5 or 6 of those last bits, choosing from the list, identifying what filters I want, hitting apply, waiting for it to the report to be created, and downloading. And the rest of what I build out is just repeating those loops to make it work. And that is done. There were a few tweaks that I had to make to the final version. The first one was that adding switch browser tab. So when the Demand 360 first opens, it actually opens in a new tab. So you have to alert Axiom to switch tab. It's a very simple function. The second one was that then a cookie banner appears and it needs to click the element, accept all cookies. Again, very simple to add. And apart from that, everything is as shown, with then the repetition of going in and picking, the next segment we want to filter for is transient, applying that and then exporting. Then the next segment we want to filter for is corporate, applying that and exporting. So now we have all of the reports downloaded automatically. All of those clicks that the user would have had to do, you can see, would have been 70 every time to run these reports. Has now turned into just one automation, hit go, and it downloads everything. Okay, I hope you found that useful. The goal of today was really to set out a foundation, to show you how relatively easy it is to build automations that log into your hotel systems and carry out operations, that also let you export data so you can start to break down silos. But it's really kind of step one, it's the foundation, that from this we can then add on AI agents and agentic systems to really manipulate data and do some smart things and deliver great business outcomes. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to be building more sophisticated AI agents that actually then use that foundational level to take much more valuable actions on your behalf and deliver much better business outcomes. If there are any hotel systems where you'd like some help automating processes, or maybe to add AI agents on top, please reach out, Charlie at Triptease.com. And otherwise, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe,